The Second Sino-Japanese War was one of the largest and bloodiest conflicts of the 20th century, primarily fought between the Republic of China and the Empire of Japan. This war was a significant precursor to and part of the broader events of World War II. Japanese expansionism. Japan, driven by a desire for resources and territorial expansion, had been increasing its influence in China since the early 1930s. The invasion of Manchuria in 1931, followed by the establishment of the puppet state of Manchukuo, set the stage for further aggression. Chinese resistance. While fragmented, China under both the nationalists, led by Chiang Kai-shek, and the communists, led by Mao Zedong, opposed Japanese incursions. The July 1937 incident at Marco Polo Bridge, a skirmish between Chinese and Japanese troops near Beijing, escalated into full-scale war. Initial Japanese advances. Japan launched aggressive campaigns, capturing major Chinese cities including Shanghai, Nanjing, Nanking, and Wuhan. The infamous Nanjing Massacre, 1937, saw mass atrocities committed by Japanese forces, with an estimated 200,000 to 300,000 civilians killed. Chinese resistance and guerrilla tactics. Despite initial losses, Chinese forces launched guerrilla warfare and relied on their vast territory to stretch Japanese resources thin. The Communist Eighth Route Army and nationalist forces engaged in sabotage and ambushes against Japanese supply lines. International involvement. China received support from the Allies, particularly the United States, Soviet Union, and United Kingdom. The Flying Tigers, an American volunteer group, played a significant role in defending Chinese airspace. Turning the tide. By 1941, Japan's invasion of Southeast Asia and conflict with the United States, following the attack on Pearl Harbor, diverted its resources away from China. China's position strengthened as the Allied powers coordinated strategies during World War II. Final stages. The war ended in 1945 with Japan's surrender following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Soviet Union's entry into the Pacific War. Japanese forces. Weapons included rifles, Arisaka models, Type 96 light machine guns, mortars, heavy artillery like the Type 41 75mm mountain gun, aircraft including Mitsubishi A6M0 fighters, and tanks like the Type 95 Hago for infantry support. Chinese forces. Weapons were largely outdated rifles and machine guns, limited access to tanks and aircraft, bolstered by Allied supplies later in the war. Guerrilla tactics relied on improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and sabotage. Casualties. The war claimed an estimated 15 to 20 million lives, including soldiers and civilians. Millions were displaced, and cities were left in ruins due to Japanese bombing campaigns and scorched earth tactics. Economic and social devastation. China's economy suffered severely, with infrastructure destroyed and farmlands abandoned. The war deepened the divide between the nationalist and communist factions, setting the stage for the Chinese Civil War, 1945 to 1949. Global implications. Japan's aggressive actions and the atrocities committed during the war galvanized global opinion against the Axis powers. The war highlighted the resilience of China as an allied power and its critical role in defeating Japan. Post-war outcomes. The war formally ended with the signing of the Instrument of Surrender in September 1945. China regained control of its territories, but the devastation delayed its recovery and contributed to internal conflict. Conclusion. The Second Sino-Japanese War was a brutal and pivotal conflict that reshaped East Asia's political and military landscape. While it demonstrated the horrific cost of modern warfare, it also underscored the determination of the Chinese people to resist foreign aggression.